photobomb with Coach?
Oh no, I just saw him doing an interview and I was walking past him. I was like, might as well get a little FaceTime on TV because I always got my helmet on, so gotta show the face a little bit.
But he's been known to photobomb.
Yeah, like I see tons of pictures. He's always, if he's in the background, he's gonna smile. So.
Has he ever salmoned you?
Huh?
Has he ever salmoned anybody, or did you just do the photobomb?
Salmon?
Yeah.
No, he would never do that.
What does that mean?
You guys never seen the salmon?
Oh, that thing.
Zeke always does it. That's how it started with the offensive line, though.
Speaking of Zeke, the Zeke leap, maybe it's kind of a thing now. Is that just him being Zeke, or just that ability he has now to hurdle guys?
I mean, he has all different kinds of ways to make people miss. He's a big dude, so it's hard to tackle him up high. So guys are just trying to take out his legs, and I guess he's just reacting. And freak plays, really cool to see.
Yeah, for a guy that size.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody knows that he's got that power and can run over people and run through arm tackles. But he can cut on a dime, and he is a really good athlete, one of the best athletes we have on the team. So.
Taylor, how much better did you and the offensive line feel after this week as opposed to the game the week before when it did seem like you were frustrated? Yeah,
I mean, it was a huge confidence boost, obviously, to be able to perform at a higher level. It wasn't perfect, and obviously we can still get better, not only as an offensive line but as a whole offensive unit. So I think it was a confidence boost. Made us feel good to be able to actually go out there and get some offense, get some yards, put some points up, and things ran a little more smoothly for us.
How good is this Indiana football team?
I mean, when you get in Big Ten play, every team has good players. A lot of players could go to any school in the Big Ten on these teams. So obviously, not to take anything away from our out-of-conference schedule, but I think the level of players is going to be a little bit higher. And obviously there's going to be a lot of competition there because I do think the Big Ten Conference is a really good conference. So I'm excited to get that going and have that competition.
They're off to a 4-0 start, first time in 25 years, and I'm sure you remember a couple of years ago it was a dogfight over there.
Yeah. I mean, I remember that game. We kind of went in there, kind of sleptwalk into there, and they obviously have a really explosive offense, and last year at times they gave us kind of troubles with defense. So we're just going to have to watch the film, game plan for them, and then just play a complete game. Because as with any team we come out and play, if we don't bring our A game, we'll struggle.
Even more recent history, I know you guys were disappointed the way you performed the first 3 quarters of last year's game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think you'll see the same things from them this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they did some things that slowed us down, gave us a little trouble, so I don't know why they wouldn't go back to that. I mean, if it has a proven track record, why not do it again? But obviously we're going to have our scouting report and, hopefully have some of those things that tripped us up earlier last year cleaned up. So, I'm confident with our game plan going, and it'll be, really, really well thought out.
Urban said that the early season struggles this year, no one was panicked because those were sort of inevitable growing pains.
Yeah.
Is the start of the Big Ten season sort of the point where the growing pains have to stop being growing pains?
I mean, you probably like them to be, but I think we just got so many playmakers on offense right now. We're just trying to figure out how we want to get the ball to certain players and how we want to go about running the offense. So I mean, you'd like for them to be gone, but that's just something that's going to have to work itself out. Not something where we're going to decide when it ends. It's just going to have to happen, really.
Taylor, I know that every season is a new season, but when an offense is playing well at the end of one year, like you guys obviously were last year, how much do you maybe sort of think, this will carry over? We have a lot of veterans back, and we know the scheme and everything. Or how much is it really like starting over a completely new season each year?
Well, I mean, it's definitely not completely starting over, brand new, but it's definitely not picking up where you left off. It's kind of in between because obviously we do have a lot of those players back, but we are missing some of those players that were, key to our offense being, so successful. And then obviously having so much time off of playing football and then having a lot of guys out in spring, you just kind of have to get that cohesiveness back, and it's not going to be as smooth or as fluid early on. But like I said, we have a lot of the guys back, a lot of the pieces back. So, I think we'll just keep improving as we did last year.
This season, you guys are 4-0, you're number one in the country, and yet so many of your fans are like, okay, what's wrong with this team? What do you guys think of that? I mean, the motto is the grind.
Yeah.
Has it felt like a grind?
I mean, that's just kind of, how our program's structured is to it's hard, so. Yeah, but I think that just comes with the expectations. Last year people were not expecting us to do what we did, and now everybody has that level of expectations to where we should be untouchable, and they're going to hold us to those expectations. Whether that's fair or not, that's not for me to say, but those are the expectations people have, and if we don't perform, to their expectations, people are going to, criticize us, and they're going to let us hear about it.
I mean, do you feel that you guys are on the right track, that you're progressing the way you should be?
I mean, obviously, against Hawaii and Northern Illinois, our offense wasn't where we wanted it to be. But I think, with this past week, we kind of got it back on track. And then we're just going to have to improve game to game because, as we go deeper and deeper in our schedule, we're going to be facing tougher teams. And then, when it comes November, when it's time to compete for a championship, that's when we have to be at our best, at our highest capacity. So, it's just going out there, going back to work, and just improving, taking baby steps.
How close are y'all to launching Ezekiel Elliott? He had that big run against Virginia Tech, and since then he's kind of had to settle for 20-yarders.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like y'all are close to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, getting him back on the beam and that big play aspect?
Yeah, I mean, because we were, you watch the film, and he's a, somebody picks his ankle, he's one play away. It's like a foot here or there, somebody clips his foot, or shoestring tackle, and I think that's just going to come. Those big plays are going to come just from a better execution, blocking both from the offensive line and on the perimeter. And like I said, you just, it's early in the season right now. And I think those runs will come. And, obviously he's a great back. So, we're close. We're really close. But, I think they'll come for sure.
What about Braxton? Virginia Tech, Braxton had 2 huge plays, and since then he's kind of been.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like they're trying to figure out where is best suited to try to get him the ball.
Yeah.
Do you guys kind of feel that same way too?
I mean, obviously with him switching positions, it's been a huge adjustment for him, but it's also that we have this dynamic playmaker that we want to try to get the ball. And, I think the coaches are trying to figure out the best way to get him the ball. We've tried some things with him out of the backfield, different types of, passing, intermediate, long, whatever it may be. And yeah, I think they are trying to just, figure out what's the best way to get him the ball, because a player like him, you do want to get the ball. But I don't really have a ton of say in that.
Right.
And, I'm not a offensive coordinator, so.
It almost sounds
You
like
aspire to be. No, I'm just joking.
it almost
Too much
sounds-
stress for me.
It almost sounds like when you're describing problems that you guys have had this year, that it's almost that you just have too much of a good thing. So many expectations, so many weapons,
Yeah.
and that is that reassuring in some sort of way?
I mean, yes, because obviously if it all comes together, and I'd rather say when it all comes together, because I have all the confidence that it will. I think it'll be a really difficult offense to stop, and I already think in a way we are, because teams are having to do all sorts of different things to slow us down. But yeah, that those expectations and trying to get all those different guys the ball that deserve touches, it's not so much stressful on myself, but the coaching staff, because there's guys that deserve more touches, just because the way they practice and just their ability. So yeah, I'm can and also cannot see that being an issue.
How many times do you think you've blocked Joey Bosa in your career here? You've gone against him?
Every day, at least do one-on-one pass rush every single day, so you get a couple reps of that. In spring, it's like all ones-on-ones, so you get 30 reps, probably 30 something against him. So throughout the season, I get to go against him every day. You know, on Tuesdays a lot we'll do one offense versus one defense for, you know, at least a set. So, you know, I do get to go against him, get reps against him, which is good to, you know, have that high level of competition to kind of keep myself sharp. So I do get to go against him, and you know, it's difficult, obviously, but you know, it's needed, it's necessary.
Do you get sick of him?
No.
That's like, I'm tired of
I think if I did, I'm at the wrong place. You know, I shouldn't be playing football or playing here. You know, because you come here to compete with the best, and we definitely have that. So I enjoy it because I know it makes me better. And like I said, while it is difficult, it is something I need, and it's something that I like to do.
You've seen the projections, though. He could be the first guy taken in a draft.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the projections about you. You could be a high draft choice also and stuff. Do you ever sit there and say to yourself, hey, we're kind of two elite guys going against each other? You understand what I'm saying? Does that ever cross your mind?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to be like conceited about myself in any way.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously I think we're both high-level players. And, you know, if you're playing at a high level of football, the only way to get better is to go against guys that are at that level. So he's, you know, awesome for me to have on this team. And, you know, not just him, you know, we have a bunch of defensive linemen that are playing at a really high level. So I think, you know, that's good for myself, and I think, you know, myself and some of the other offensive linemen are good for them in their development to keep getting better.
You might, though, have to make a living blocking him eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What sets him apart? Why is he talked about on the level he is right now? I'm talking about Joey.
I think he's just so complete. You know, obviously everybody knows, you know, his pass rushing ability, but he's very disruptive in the run game. He can hold gaps really well and shed blocks really well. You know, just a big, strong guy, but he also has a quick get off. You know, he can go to power. You know, everybody can sees him bull rush, but he's got great hands and great quickness. So pretty much if you mess up one thing in your technique or your set or, you know, your run block, whatever it may be, you know, he's going to take advantage of that. And on top of that, he's extremely confident.
What kind of relationship do you develop with, I mean, it happens, I'm sure, across the whole team, when you have a guy who's kind of the guy that you go against when it's one versus ones, and I guess like for you and Joey, it's like 3 years now of this. Like, how has your relationship developed when you end up banging heads with the same guy for 3 years? Yeah,
I mean, for one, you know, I get along with everybody on the team, so there's never been like any animosity. You know, you go out there, you compete, and then, you know, it's nothing personal. But obviously I have a lot of respect for him as a player, and, you know, me and him get along great. Actually, you know, the position group that the offensive line probably gets along with best is the defensive line, you know, because we are the trenches of the team. So I think, you know, there is a bond of playing on the line of scrimmage within that. But, you know, everybody knows Joey's, you know, he's got a different personality. You know, he's, you know, into the EDM and stuff like that. And, you know, he seems really laid back, but, you know, when it comes to workouts and practice, he's an incredibly hard worker. So, and he's, like I said, he's just been awesome to have around.
Taylor, growing up, if someone had told you undefeated Ohio State, undefeated Indiana, and game day was actually at one point considering going to the game, what would you have said to that? It's just, doesn't that make their success more remarkable because it's come so recently?
Ooh, Indiana's?
Yeah.
I don't want to call it remarkable because, like I said, I watched the film on these guys, and I know that all the teams in the Big Ten have really good players, and it is hard to win games. So, you know, I don't want to take for granted the success we've had, you know, because it's not like, you know, we've won games by chance. So I don't want to say I'm surprised, but, you know, they are, as of late, performing really well. So, you know, that's good for them. You're good.
You're on the sideline with Coach Warner as he's taking on an expanded role of offensive coordinator this year, kind of being the head guy. Has your relationship with him changed at all, like kind of what you guys do on game day as your game's going on?
No. It's pretty much the exact same. And I think that's kind of what he wanted with staying on the sideline because, you know, most coordinators are up in the box. So they know they can kind of see how everything develops and goes out. But, you know, I think he knows that it's good for us, us being his position group, for him to be down there to make on-field adjustments with us instead of having to go through, you know, a middleman and talk to somebody on the headset and, you know, get everything drawn out because he's obviously, you know, a really great offensive mind. So it's good for us to have him down there on the field, but I also think that adds a level of difficulty for him doing his job as OC.
What did Indiana throw at y'all last year that y'all were 10, 11 games into the season that befuddled you guys a little bit? Because obviously that was not a great offensive game until
Yeah.
the fourth quarter and Jalen Marshall's show started. You know?
Right, exactly.
Well, what was it you remember about that game defensively? Because most people were writing it off. You know, it was
Yeah.
like y'all were getting ready for Michigan.
Yeah. You know, obviously, you know, they have their base defense, which that alone, you know, they just played well.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they did get into some odd, which, you know, early this season has shown to give us some issues, and, you know, we struggle with it a little bit. So, you know, it's not like it was anything like out of this world. You know, they came in with their base defense, they played some odd, and they executed well. They, you know, they just played well.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Coach Warner admitted that last week was tough on him. Did he let you guys see that, or did he try to hide that from you?
Not at all. He was really positive. You know, he seemed like he was in really good spirits. You know, and I'm happy that he handled it that way, because, you know, if he would have showed that he was, you know, bothered and stressed and stuff like that, I think that would have like permeated throughout our unit and kind of brought us down. So I think he did an awesome job of staying really positive with us. And, you know, saying, like, you know, I haven't lost any faith in you guys. I love you guys. I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to get this going. And then I think that showed on Friday. You know, there was great energy, and everybody was really positive. So I think that was awesome.
Taylor, thank you very much.
Yep.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Taylor.